Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my pre-readers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So I just want to say for a second, on this video, we're going to be covering former President Bill Clinton and former First Lady Hillary Clinton. She was the former Democratic presidential nominee in the year of 2016. We're going to talk about the Epstein testimony that's coming up around the week of February 20th. Now, you're probably asking, well, why is this so important? Like, Chris, why are you even covering it? Well, normally, as you all know, I don't really cover a lot of things because I don't have a lot of time to do many videos. So I pick something I feel intuitively is important and I do a video on it. So in this case, it's important. So the reason why it's important is because it coincides alongside the February 20th, which is a key important day for Aries. Aries and Saturn. So Saturn entered Aries at 0 degrees, and it signifies a great reset. Former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, their testimonies are taking place after the 20th of February, which means that there is something that's coming during that testimony that's going to change the game. That's why we're talking about it in this video. Anyway, this video is just for entertainment, for educational purposes only as well. And if you want to help out the channel, you can support it by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content, sharing this video with others, really help boost the algorithm here on this YouTube channel. And if you want to stay in the loop and be notified when I do post and upload, I do also have a Blue Sky account and a Facebook group in the comments in the description below. In case you are interested in doing something like that, I also do have a cooking channel. If you kind of want a break but you still want to see me cook, I do have a cooking channel as well if that is something that poses your interest. Now, this video is being recorded on Thursday, February the 5th at 11:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright, so let's get on with it. We have a lot to get through in today's video, but before we do, I do want to give you some quick things that are going to be very helpful. As you may have been aware of, that the Epstein files are very hard to really know what is true and what is not. More so, they make the format so difficult that even me and you don't really want to read it because there's so many words on a page. But here's the thing, we actually have somebody who's a complete genius who simplified the Epstein files by taking everything and simplifying it into the format of Gmail. And they call it Jmail, indicating Jeffrey Epstein's emails. That is why it's there. So you can actually find this in my community page post, which I'm going to post right after this video. And if you go here, you can kind of see Jeffrey Epstein. You can like go down, you can look at all his emails. If just say you want to know who his contacts are, you can see all the contacts and all the people he interacts with so far. If just say you want to see the flight data, you want to know where he was flying, you can see his flights and where he ended up going, how much he paid, and stuff like that. So you can see all his flights around the world. So there's a lot of things to do. If you want to look at the files, or you want to look at photos, or hard drives, or the Amazon purchases, or 3D, there's a lot of things that you can do. So it's a very interactive tool, and I recommend if you're going to use this tool to be able to really look in and educate yourself more so on the matters of the Epstein files and kind of knowing what's true, what's not, this would be a great tool to use. It's more simplified. It's a lot easier to understand overall. So if that is something that helps you, go ahead and use it. Anyway, let's go ahead. I do want to talk about a video that I just recently did, and unfortunately, it just restarted itself, of course, right when I'm doing a video. And so I'm just going to quickly talk to the AI about this specific video that I covered. It's called What's Coming in the United States in the next coming weeks. So you can kind of see in there between September and November. And you can kind of tell, like when you start to look at it, you hit the button for Ask AI, it tells you exactly what it is that I talk about. And it mentions in there the only way to take Donald Trump down is the King of Pentacles. And it talks about what's happening now, where we are currently with the King of Pentacles, with Donald Trump, in terms of the Epstein files and stuff like that. Let me see. Trump, King of Pentacles. Because this is a great tool to use, especially if you want to know a lot of the things that I talk about, but you don't want to watch the entire video, or you just want to get a refresher in your head. These are some great tools. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of give you a quick breakdown of what this video is if you want to go ahead and watch it. But it says here, the video recorded on Saturday, September the 20th at 3:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. discusses predictions for the United States over the next few weeks. Backward progress in initiation, falling down the stairs card suggests that the United States will regress, while fire passion ignites something that will be ignited. So it's saying that while the U.S. will fall backwards, something will ignite. Transgender issues and political shakeup. The unable to find a bathroom card, combined with the fire imagery, suggests a significant shakeup related to transgender people. The host mentioned Donald Trump potentially declaring trans people as national terrorists. I don't know if he did that yet or not. Family disconnection and censorship. The family value card in reverse implies increased separation and disengagement between people of different political beliefs, potentially leading to a family breakdown. Communication is predicted to be down with speaking the truth, reverse indicating censorship. So this is not like AI telling me what it means. It's AI reiterating and summarizing what I said in that video. So I'm just reiterating to you. Migration and escape. The immersion into grace card in reverse suggests an immersion into darkness, leading people to seek escape. The host predicts more people will be leaving the United States due to dramatic events. Astrological shift and ending. The ninth house philosophy, spirituality, and knowledge in Sagittarius November are mentioned along with the eighth house reverse, metamorphosis and death. And Scorpio, the end of October, suggesting an ending and a new cycle. Hidden rulers and political theater. The King of Pentacles behind the King and the Devil card suggest a hidden power orchestrating events. The host believes current political events are theater to distract from something being exposed, possibly related to the Epstein file. Surveillance and weak leadership. The darkness in the house and the intruder card suggest increased surveillance through technology. The host states the King, referring to Donald Trump, is vulnerable and not a true leader. Economic trouble and targeted groups. The host predicts economic unemployment and job shortages. The chase card indicates minority groups or certain groups will be targeted by an aggressive government, similar to ICE and immigration. Censorship of knowledge and oil rig issues. There is a prediction of censorship on education and access to information, especially regarding leaving the country. Issues with a malfunctioning oil rig in Texas is also mentioned. The video speaker claimed, which is May, that the King of Pentacles card consistently represents Donald Trump. According to the speaker, this card in the reading symbolizes a revelation or reveal from the past or a time capsule that is about to come out. The speaker suggests that to defeat the king or a dictator, this hidden, quote, baby or truth need to be exposed and brought into the light. And that is what I said here. You can kind of see the timestamp. You can see it's listed. And so let's go ahead. Let's see what I had to say then. But there's no baby here. And this is the same card that always represented Donald Trump, the King of Pentacles, because the baby is hidden. But remember, it's in the time capsule. It's making its way out. So that is freedom. In order to defeat the king, to defeat the dictator, is to expose that child, to bring it into the light. And we have here as well is what's going on in the astrological aspects. We have here Leo, courageous, regal, loyal. He's not regal. He's not a king. Remember how I said he was very vulnerable? He is very vulnerable. He's not a king. He doesn't have that royal gene in him. He's not going to be able to hold on. We have here as well as the next card is we have dark. So that's rather interesting because it means that he's not a king and he can't hold on. So knowing that and knowing what's happening with the testimony between Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton at deal degrees, Saturn in deal degrees Aries signifies airing out, cleansing everything coming to the focus. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about President Clinton. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Well, what are they going to expose? What are they going to talk about? Let's talk about it. So Spiritual Angels, tell me about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton testimony to Congress, especially now that they are being subpoenaed by the House committee to talk. Come on, Spirit, tell me. What's going on between Hillary and Bill during the testimony? Okay, they're telling me this is the answer. Let's take a look at the environment. So on top of the deck here, we have the Six of Cups reversed. Now, if you guys have been with me for a while, you know this card upright means the past. It means referencing the past, recollection, remembering the past at the golden period. And this is reversed. It's not remembering the past at the golden period. This is darkness. This means in the future, the past is dark. It is not as good as it seems. And it's being further enabled by the devil. You guys see me shuffle, like I'm not making this up. The darkness is in the past, but it's going to get exposed during this testimony. The bottom of the deck is we have the Hanged Man. There is going to be some sort of censorship or restriction on words that Hillary and Bill are unable to say. There might be some cutoff, specifically in terms of maybe senators and congressmen and congresswomen cutting off Bill Clinton and Hillary. It does look like there is a cutoff here. And how do I know that? Because when you have a rope tied around a part of your body and it's restricting that blood and all that weight is being pulled down, there is a restriction here. There is a lack of flow. There's going to be disorder in the Congress during this testimony. And here we have it, the Page of Swords. I don't think a lot of people are going to get out of a lot of information out of the Hillary and Bill testimony. But that is what they want you to believe, because look what's on the top of the deck here. We have the Six of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, followed by the Devil. That tells an entirely different story than what's on the bottom. An entirely different story. And you have to ask yourself why. Well, because this is the media. This is the Ten of Cups. That means there is a manipulation in what gets shown to the public. I wonder if the testimony might be private. And if that's the case, then yeah, that would make a lot of sense in this reading. And if it's public, then that means that only certain highlights of the testimony will be shown publicly and the others will be hidden. Again, this video is just for entertainment and educational purposes only as well. So when we look at the environment here in the testimony in Bill Clinton and Hillary, we'll just look at the overall environment first, and then we'll start to see what they're going to expose for each party. We have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is giving me the education and giving me the vibe of going back to the past. There's going to be a recollection. There's going to be a timetable here. It doesn't seem to be like one and done. It seems like there's a retelling of a story. And I'm seeing like this opening scene into a movie like Wizard of Oz, where they start to show you how she got to the land of Wizard of Oz. This is kind of like telling me a similar faction. It's telling me it's going to start from the very, very beginning. And it's going to go way back. But for Bill and Hillary, it's going to talk about how they got involved. And it's also, by the way, it's going to be connected to a former failed Democratic candidate called Clinton back in the 1800s. It's also going to tie that guy into it. But Clinton came down later down the line in the 90s, but there was another guy named Clinton in the 1800s, and in some capacity, that is related to this. Now, in the middle of the reading here, we have the Three of Swords reversed. And the Three of Swords reversed means not a complete betrayal. Now, you have Donald Trump in the center, you have Bill, and you have Hillary. It's reversed. There is some sort of not wanting to say what's on your mind. Not wanting to say what's on your mind. And as I'm reading, I'm getting this strong sensation, like a band of heat, like right here. So it almost feels like a blind cloth, like they're almost like being blinded. So there is like heat wrapping around here. And it just started, so there is a little bit of heat. And that's telling me here that their third eye, their pineal gland, is fully calcified, which means that they're not able to remember certain things. So they're not being spiritually puppeted by the spiritual world, which basically means is that if there's any good entities that wants to make them do good, it can't. It can't affect them. Any bad entities, any negative entities that want to make them do bad things, they can't. Hillary and Bill have a beat of their own. They're drumming to their own stories. They are playing their own life, essentially. They're not being dictated. And that's essentially what it's saying here. It's saying that Bill and Hillary did whatever they wanted to do during this testimony, which means that they're not in control. That's false. They are in control, both Hillary and Bill. They have the advantage, despite the sensation of something blinding their eye, something blinding their third eye. This tells me intuitively that Bill and Hillary had nothing to lose. So if they were to expose something or to expose everything, they had nothing to lose but to gain. That's all I'm getting from this. This is what it's telling me. This is the environment. They have the card. They have the advantage here. Now, Donald Trump thinks that by bringing these Hillary and Bill to the testimony that he's punishing them. But no, he's punishing himself because he's doing it at a time frame where Saturn means Aries, and that means the Great Reset, which means things are going to be renewed. Things that have been hidden, things the way they were are no longer going to be the way they are in the future. Which means that the only way for something like that to happen will be a big shuffle, and Hillary and Bill's testimony will be the first domino effect. And underneath here, on top of the Three of Swords, we have here the Ace of Swords. And this means to take down the incumbent, to shove a sword into the incumbent, take them down. So the environment isn't to attack Donald Trump. And it doesn't look like during the testimony they're going to be attacking Trump. Because they're just retelling the story. That's what it is. It's going to be going back to how it originally started. Then here, it's saying that Bill and Hillary go to the present day. So they're going to tell the story from when they first met Epstein and how it all came to be. Then it's going to start to take us to the present, which is in this two cards. And they're going to tell us that Hillary and Bill have the upper cards here. They have the advantage. Are they going to, side with Donald Trump and to protect him, or are they going to expose the system? They have the cards, and they're not being dictated by spirit in any capacity, whether it's good or bad. They're not being dictated. They have free choice of will here. They've done their part. Their sole contract has ended in regard to the Epstein file connection. Now it's up to them to make the right decision. And the last card, which is the final card, is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 of Wands here, which means to rain down accusation, to rain down. Now, this could mean many things. This could mean, in the most simplest term, is that Hillary and Bill come forward with all these things, and, they come out with the truth, and it rains down on a lot of people, and it brings a lot of people down. The other meaning could be that as they're trying to talk about their story, there are a lot of people in Congress and the senators trying to pop hold into the story to try to distract people, to try to gotcha. And it could be a political gotcha, like a political trick, if you will. They cannot in any capacity afford to fall for those tricks. They have to be upfront and honest, and that's the only way that they can do it in order to succeed. So there's two ways that it can go. It can go that Bill and Hillary have full choice, full range. They can do whatever they want. That's what their spirit can do. That's what they themselves can do. That's what their soul can do. They have full range. They could pick the good side. They could pick the bad side. We're going to know soon what the answer is, but we're going to get a clarifier on this card. Give me a clarifier on this card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Wands. Give me a clarifier on the 8 of Wands, please. Okay, so we actually have two cards here which falls in the middle. Ooh, okay. This is going to be good. I just got to get water. Okay. Alright, so as you kind of notice the placement of the card, in this direction here, you guys all know this side means the future. This side always means the past for me. So when you start to see the card heading in this direction, it means that it hasn't peaked yet. It hasn't peaked. Right, this is when it's in full alignment, it's fully straight. It means that it hasn't started or it's going to start. When it starts to shift, that means it's 25% in. Here is 35%, which means that we are 35% completed in terms of whatever it is that we're talking about. So the 8 of Wands is talking about the thing that's going to come after the testimony and what's going to happen when they're toward the end of the testimony. What's the environment like? Well, we have the President card. This means the Star card in reverse. This means that the clockwork of the Star card with the cup, the King of Cups, which means turmoil, a lot of chaos around the President. This is the emotion. This is the cup. Donald Trump is going to flip out. Whatever gets revealed from Hillary and Bill is going to flip Donald Trump out. It's not going to be the thing that takes Donald Trump down. It's not going to be what they said that takes Donald Trump down. It's going to be his reaction that takes Donald Trump down. So what I'm trying to say here, because we just got cut out, is that the Ace of Wands reverse is saying that it's not necessarily going to be that Bill and Hillary try to take Donald Trump down. It's how he responds to their testimony that's going to be the first initial start of him going down. And so we have here the King of Cups with a man surrounded by a lot of chaos, and here is the presidency, which is the star card in reverse. All it just means is that he is going to go down eventually. And the star card is indicating is the presidency now. What's also interesting as well is we have the Four of Wands, which falls underneath the King of Cups, which means that he's going to start losing support in Congress and the Senate. This is the Four of Wands. He's going to start losing support. He's going to start losing a lot of support. I would not be surprised if there was a third impeachment trial that commenced in March due to the beginning phases of testimony between Hillary and Bill, which is why that 35% capacity. Now, what does that mean? 35% capacity means that if Donald Trump does go through an impeachment trial, it's going to take a very long time for them to remove him. Now, if it starts in March, that doesn't mean that it's 35%. It could be 65%. And even then, if that concludes and it hasn't reached 100%, Donald Trump will be acquitted in the Senate and he will still remain as president. So keep that in mind. It needs to be close to 100, not 35. So just keep that in mind. But it's going to be the start, and it's going to challenge how people see him as a leader. 35%. Now, these two cards that also flip were inside the deck. We have the Eight of Pentacles and political death. This is the Four of Swords. This means the end of his political career, the end of his political dynasty. His legacy has been tarnished. His legacy is now sealed shut. That's what it means. It means Donald Trump won't be known for COVID. He won't be known for the things that he did during his first time. He won't even be known for the things that he did during the first time. He's going to be known for the Epstein file. He's going to be known for the felon president, the rapist president. That's what he's going to be known for. He's going to be known for that. And the Eight of Pentacles, it means investigations are going to begin, and it's going to lead toward the end of him. It's going to lead to the end of him. And you notice how it's the Eight of Pentacles and still on the Seventh Pentacle? Here's the eighth one, which means that even if this nails him down, it's not going to be the thing that takes him out entirely. This is the thing that weakens him, and that leads to him ongoing on his way out. That's what this means. It doesn't mean that it leads automatically to him leaving. It means that this puts a dent in his popularity, puts a dent in his political moderation. It puts a dent in his ability to govern effectively, especially as a dictator. So, in simple terms, it's that Donald Trump is a dictator. That's what he calls himself. So we're going to call him Dictator Don. But because of all this that's coming out, and the Dira in Saturn in Dira in Aries, all that's going to mean, and everything we just read, is just simple. It's very, very simple. It doesn't take him out. But it weakens his ability to govern as a dictator if he is still considered a dictator. That's what it does. That's what it will do. It just challenges him. And he doesn't like that. He does not like to be challenged. He does not like to be given a no. And Donald Trump will freak out about whatever it is that they're doing during the testimony. He thinks he got them. He thinks he got them in the corner. Gotcha! But Hillary and Bill, they're not subjected to the soul contract. They're not subjected to the contract with Jeffrey Epstein anymore on a soul level. They're disconnected. So what does that mean? That just basically means Bill and Hillary have full range, freedom to do as they choose. So watch the testimony. See how they react. See what they say. Because there's no holding back. There's nothing that is puppeteering them. There's no control. Good spirits and bad spirits cannot control them. But they can control themselves. And what will they do at that moment? How will they seize the opportunity? And the energy tells me they're going to seize it. So let's find out. Let's find out, what does Hillary Clinton say? And then we'll end the video with, what does Bill say? So Spirit Angel, tell me about what will Hillary Clinton reveal during the Epstein testimony with Bill Clinton and Hillary, right, when they were called in a subpoena for congressional oversight. Can you tell me, what will Hillary Rodham Clinton reveal to Congress about the connection? What will she reveal? What will be monumental during her testimony at the end of the month, around the 20s? Anything else? Anything else? Okay, let's see. We're going to take the astrology. This is going to help us understand more the environment and how Hillary is feeling and the thing that she's saying. It's going to set the mood for the rest of the video. There's a lot of heat on the head, though. There's a lot of heat. For Hillary, it's more on the top. It's more on the crown. It's her understanding. I don't think that Hillary was involved, but it does feel like she knew. Like she knew, but she doesn't understand anything. And since there's a lot of heat in the crown chakra, which is pink, that tells me that Hillary understands the situation, but doesn't understand it at the full extent. So the thing that she said is going to be monumental. It's going to be shaking because she's going to reveal things that she didn't realize was not supposed to be revealed, that no one knew about. Because she didn't know that nobody knew. So she's going to reveal things accidentally. Tell me about Hillary and the environment during the testimony to Congress in regards to Epstein. What is Hillary going to reveal that shakes everything after Saturn and Aries at 0 degrees Fahrenheit? After 0 degrees. Come on, tell me, what is Hillary going to reveal? What is Hillary going to reveal? Anything else? Anything else you'd like to tell me? Okay, they're telling me wrong deck. So we're going to put this deck away. Alright, we're going to keep the cards as is. We're just going to take the last final deck. Hillary. Hillary and the Epstein file. What is Hillary going to reveal? Oh, she's going to reveal a connection. Okay. So the bottom deck here, we have the 9 of Wands here. This essentially means the foundation. She's building the foundation for something. Yeah. So she's no longer walking away, right? She's no longer walking away. She had, what to call it? She has something against Trump. She has something. She's no longer, like, abiding by him. Yeah, here is the 7 of coins. She had to work. I think it has to do with how he responded to her during the 2016 election. There's something about there that she was aware of but didn't state at the time. The top of the deck here is we have the Ace of Aquarius. At the top of the deck, this is Aquarian energy. This means we the people. Alright, it's reverse. And we're asking about what are things that Hillary's going to reveal is not in favor of the people. Now, I'm not saying that she's going to say anything that hurts people now, but she's going to be saying things that, we all know isn't really, like, good. And so, obviously, it would make a lot of sense that it wouldn't be for the people because it was always against the people. Like, abusing kids, that's against the people, right? So, even something like that is just monumental. It just tells you the story. And also, it tells you about the faith. It's her having to pick a choice, her having to make a decision. Does she choose to stay silent? Does she choose to speak up? And here is the 2 of coins here. It has to do with whether or not how Donald Trump responded to her when he became president instead of her. So there is energy here. There is motive. So she does have an edge, but there is motive here. It isn't necessarily like pure energy to, do this out of the kindness of your heart. There is energy. There is motive here. And also, Donald Trump is doing it because he wants to jail his political opponent, which happened to be Hillary and Bill. But right now, Donald Trump is being good, but that's not going to last long anyway. The first card that comes in is the Chariot. This means coming in very calm, very cool-headed. This is the Chariot card. She's going to be very, relaxed, is the word I would probably use. Is that the word I would use, Spirit? They're telling me no. They're telling me she's more like what they would call nonchalant. That's how they would describe her. Someone who's very nonchalant. And it's going to be interesting because it's going to come off as somebody who doesn't care about the situation, but that's not it. Hillary just doesn't get affected by certain things. She just speaks openly because she's a politician first. Her emotions come second. So she's going to have that very politician face to her. What is also going to be crossing this nonchalant is how the public views her. This is the world card. It's going to challenge that. It's going to challenge how she chooses to respond. If she chooses to express herself more emotionally and just put aside her politician poker face, she will be received more well. If she has more of like a calm demeanor and doesn't seem to be, disgusted by all these actions, then it's not going to go over as well. And that was going to hurt her messaging points. Now, when we start to look at some of the things that she's going to reveal, this is the King of Cups. So here is about Donald Trump and the King of Cups, the emotions, right? She is going to be a little bit emotional, but she's going to keep her cool. This is the nonchalant card. It's followed by the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is she's going to start talking about new things that hasn't even been known about from the DOJ or the Epstein files and even Donald Trump. So she's going to reveal things accidentally that they never seemed to catch, that the federal government had no knowledge or awareness of, the Page of Wands. She's going to connect something that didn't make sense at first, but now the connection has been made. And because of that, that connection is domestic. That is internal connection. It means that it's going to be in some way internally connected. I don't know if that means that Hillary's going to start to become more emotionally in tune, a little bit more emotionally raw. At first, she initially comes into the testimony as somebody who's very nonchalant and somebody who doesn't seem to be bothered. And as she starts to tell the story, she starts to bring out that rawness, that emotional side of her that isn't really a politician at all. And because of that, that's going to connect her more with the public. Now, the King of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Two of Wands here is indicating a very interesting dynamic. As she becomes more emotional, she's going to try to keep her cool. But there's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of heightened energy, a lot of tension in the room. And because of that, here is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is simply coming in as somebody who's going to make a revelation that hasn't been known before and has a domestic connection to it. And she knows it. Right? Now, when we start to look at the information in terms of the Five of Pentacles, we have here someone walking away, someone leaving. This is Hillary and Bill. At first, they're going to get attacked, they're going to be scarred, they're going to be, heavily discarded, if the word I would probably use. They're going to be walking away with this at a loss. But that's the initial reaction. They're going to be walking away from this as a loss. But remember, I mentioned before that Hillary is going to reveal a connection that has been hidden, a connection that hasn't been known about. Something the FBI and the DOJ and all them didn't even know about. And because of that, it's going to change the image. So I feel like the testimony in initial glance is going to be a very negative perception against Hillary and Bill. That's what it seems to appear as. And underneath the King of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles, the first card that comes in is the Ninth House, which means it's going to start to peak. And that is the House of Sagittarius, which means philosophy, spirituality, and knowledge. That is going to start to peak. The reason is here, underneath the King of Cups and Page of Wands, as she reveals information, more knowledge, then the transits start to reveal itself. That's when everything goes into alignment. And this is insight, movement, change. Just as I said it was. You didn't need these cards to tell you, but it confirmed what I just said. Right? And underneath this Two of Wands here, we have directly underneath that, which is the domestic connection, we have here the North Node, which is facing the future. What is coming in the future that's about 25% complete, which means that it already begun and it's almost over, is destiny, purpose, and activation. This is the end of something. This is the connection. This is going to be the driving factor. Something's going to end for somebody or something. And here, when we start to ask about what else is she going to reveal, we have the Hanged Man come in at the initial card. The Hanged Man. This is Tate University. There is information on that thing. She's going to be held upside down. But she needs to keep her cool because she has a lot that she's going to reveal. She's going to have a lot to reveal, and she's going to be hanged upside down because they're going to gaslight her, kind of similar to how, juries and jurors get gaslighted during a court hearing, where they try to pump ideas into the victim's head and gaslight them into saying, oh, maybe I did do that. Maybe I didn't do that. I don't know. That's what the hanged man is. She has to stay very stern in her story. She cannot deviate from it. She cannot let people manipulate her story. And here it is, it's the Ace of Coins reversed. There's internal connection. So if you're thinking that Hillary is the direct root of it all and she's going to reveal everything, no, but she is going to make a very interesting point. She's going to indicate the connection that we didn't know was there. This is the Ace of Coins. It's reversed. It's telling me she doesn't have all the information, but she is going to reveal a connection or a link that wasn't there prior. It's being followed by the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups means the last shot. The last shot. That's what it means. The Five of Cups here, it's indicating the last shot. Now, this is a male. And this looks like Vice President J.D. Vance. Interesting. That's all I have to say. The last shot. And here is followed by the Strength card. This is the Women card. This is Women Against the Oppression. I think Hillary is going to become very nonchalant at first, and as the tension, everything starts to rise, she's going to start to really step into being a woman. And when I mean that, I don't mean like being a politician. I mean she's going to step into feeling like she is what it always felt like to be a woman, an inferior, to feel like somebody thinks that they're above you, like the men think that they can speak on your behalf. She's going to step in. She's going to step into her power. That's what the Strength card is saying here. And she's going to be very confident, very stern in the things that she says. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so that is Hillary and Hillary's testimony. She doesn't have a direct linkage, which is why it makes a lot of sense that she's not able to reveal a lot, but she will reveal something that was not known. And because of that is going to be very, very significant. But she herself wouldn't even know that either, so she won't know that, so she's going to accidentally blurt it. So let's figure out what that is when the time comes. All right, we're going to lead on Bill Clinton. Let's see. Okay. Spirit Angel, tell me about Bill Clinton and his testimony to Congress regarding the Epstein file. He's been subpoenaed by Congress to talk about it. Tell me about his testimony with his wife, Hillary Clinton, in regard to the Epstein files and stuff in that nature. Tell me, what is Bill Clinton going to reveal or say during the testimony? Okay, so he's going to struggle. That makes a lot of sense. He is one of the main figures. He is definitely in the Epstein file. There's no question asked. Okay, we have here the King of Cups. All right, he's also going to remain a very nonchalant Sasha, which tells me that Hillary and him have in some way practice, and it's going to feel very unnatural. And that will make sense why the initial reaction by the public is not going to be very perceived well, but it's going to be perceived later. Anything else in regards? Okay. Tell me about Bill Clinton's testimony to Congress in regards to the Epstein files. Okay, to tell me to flip the deck. Where is that card that flipped? Bill Clinton testimony to Congress. Bill Clinton testimony to Congress, Spirit. Anything else? What is he going to reveal to Congress? Also, he knows of a connection of foreign intelligence, like interference. He has interference information, so he knows something about a spy. Okay. All right. Tell me about Donald Trump. Tell me about Bill Clinton testimony to Congress regarding the Epstein file. Okay. There's a lot of information that came out that way. Bill Clinton testimony in regards to the Epstein file. What is he going to reveal? Show me the environment. Show me what it is that he's going to mention. Anything else? Pop another card out if there's anything else that Bill Clinton's going to reveal that I missed, that I am missing. Okay. There's a lot of cards that came out. Jesus. Okay. So I'm going to leave it as is in terms of the way it fell. There's a lot of cards everywhere. We're going to break it down. The reason why there's a lot more cards on here than Hillary is because Hillary is like somebody who was kind of like a witness, but not somebody who engaged in the activities. Bill Clinton himself was actually engaged, so obviously there's going to be a lot more connections here. It makes complete sense. Now, let's take a look at the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. We're asking about Bill Clinton and the things that he's going to reveal. We have the Knight of Swords going in for the attack. Who's he attacking? This is the Five of Wands. There's feels like no holding back. So there's going to be no holding back. And this is the Eight of... Hold on, I think it might be the Nine of Wands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, Nine of Wands. It's telling me he's going to go in for the attack, but he's going to accidentally implicate himself in the process. The bottom deck here is we have the Two of Pentacles here. He's going to have to make a decision. There's something that's going to be coming out in regards to his testimony, and it's going to kind of be on shaky ground, shaky water. So there's going to be like claims that he's going to make and things that he's going to say that is not in the current Epstein file because it hasn't been released yet, and so it's yet to be determined whether or not that is viable or not. I feel Congress doesn't have the full information yet in terms of the Epstein file, so he's going to make things, talk about stories, you can talk about connection that hasn't even been mentioned yet in the Epstein file. But it's going to be mentioned, and people are going to call into question the legitimacy of that. The Two of Pentacles. And here is followed by the Eight of Pentacles. There's going to be investigation. There's going to be stuff that's going to be the nail in the coffin. I do think that this also means that there is possibly a nail in the coffin for Bill Clinton as well in regards to implicating himself. And here you have it, the Sun card, which is going to reveal to all of us things that happened. What happened on that island? What happened to the children? And here it is, the revolution. Hasta la vida revoluciona, right? That just simply means, in some random language that I just made up, revolution. This means that there's going to be a change that's coming in regards to how children are perceived, how leaders around the world perceive children. The Sun card is going to reveal everything. How children were handled. And I'm noticing here very closely that there is this little feather. And I didn't see it before, but I'm focusing on it now, and it's telling me something about that feather. Listen to the feather. I'm hearing the word listen to the feather. Okay. And it's followed by the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is walking away. Walking away. Follow the feather and walk away. Follow the feather and walk away. Let me just go through that link that I told you earlier in the video about the Epstein thing where you can go and look it up and be able to view certain things. I'm going to actually go in it now and type in the word feather. And let me just see if anything showed up in the Epstein email. Feather. I'm just going to go to the search bar, the search engine. Let's see. Does it pop up? Open an external browser. Alright, let's look at feather. Oh! There's a guy actually known G.I. Feather. You can see it right here. It's in the Epstein file. G.I. Feather. Jerry Barton. So let me just read you the email. I don't know what it's going to entail. So we're going to be hearing it for the first time, both me and you. And we're going to figure out what is it that has to be mentioned during Bill Clinton thing. Okay, so Mr. Farkas. Jerry Barton asked me to contact you to request a telephone number and then he will call you shortly. G.I. Feather. Okay, so that came from Maryland, from Landmark Land Company, Inc. All right. Jeffrey Epstein said, any news? And Feather responded, Jeffrey, Jerry is in Barbados and they currently have no internet service. He asked that I reply and let you know that he will get back to you later today or tomorrow. Interesting. All right. Feather Pellowed, which is known as unknown. They don't know who the sender is, but well, here we do have. I really do not want to click any of these links. I really am afraid to see what I'm going to get. But it means here, it's by Kyra Shalik, and the title was Feather Pillows. And it says here, Dragfield and Ross Rooster Feather Pillows, Grace's home. Is it a home? Is it a house? Dranfield and Ross Rooter Feather Pillows, Grace's home, but then they have the router and they have like a plus sign in it. So there's code. There's something coded here. And as soft and plush as the real thing. Oh, okay, that doesn't look like a pet feather at all. Dranfield and Ross Rooter Feather Pillow bring a deluxe look on you. Pillow mix, gracious home. Okay, I might click it. I'm really. This is a little strange. This is what comes up. Oops. Oh, shit, this is embarrassing. Cards with our page down. This is like. Okay, so I do know Wayfair had a thing where they would, you know how like you go to like furniture company, they have like names of people and they're attached to furniture? Well, Wayfair actually had incidents where they actually have children's names listed next to furniture and they were like thousands of dollars prices and you can actually buy a child through Wayfair under the guise of furniture. So the fact that this is furniture could tell me there's a link here with Feather. Feather. Okay. I'm genuinely scared to see what I'm going to find out. Spirit Angel tell me, give me a day, give me a number. So tell me 2012, so tell me November 4th. Okay. There's a lot of like messages between a guy named Feather. There's a lot of like pillows. They're like obsessed with pillows. Like if you look at like a lot of their thing, they're talking about pillows. They're saying it's too hard, too soft, and there's like hundreds of emails about buying pillows. Look at that. There's a lot of feathers. What? I don't really want to know. I really don't want to look at this anymore because I'm genuinely scared to see what I'm going to find out. But we're going to act tarot. That's the safer bet. Anyway, going back into the read in regards to Donald Trump and everything in that regard, we have here the first card that comes in for the astrology, the environment of Bill Clinton. We have here solar eclipse, and we have here, and that is kind of like in reverse, and that's facing the past direction, which means that this had ended. The cycle is over. This means creation, intention, and potential. So Bill Clinton's possibility to be in the limelight in terms of political power and influence is done. He does not have any power. It's over. This means that any sort of campaigning that Bill Clinton does in the future will have no meaning. If anything, it might do the opposite. So, let's go ahead and look at the Rider-Waite Tarot cards now. The first card that comes in is the Ten of Wands. Okay, we're asking about, is Bill Clinton going to reveal things? What is it like during the testimony? Right, this is the Ten of Wands. He's going to have a lot of things in terms of his head weight, a lot of obstacles, a lot of questions to Bill Clinton. It's also followed by the next card, which is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups means he and Hillary practice very closely how to stay calm, how to stay nonchalant, how the answers are, and it's going to come off very robotic, not natural. This is the King of Cups. right? It's telling me here. But I can't help but notice the fish around his neck. The fish around his neck. Now, what does a fish symbolize? Well, a fish, and I'm just listening to myself right now, because a fish symbolizes movement. It means going through the terrain. Because remember, when you're in water, it's not like you're floating. It just feels like you have to go through friction, and water is always moving against you, never with you. So if that's the case, and he is wearing the fish, he means that he's going to be going against the friction, the thing that's going to push him back. So he's going to be moving forward. And the next card that comes in is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups means, here's all the information you asked for, and I'm going to give it to you. Even if it inflicts myself. I'm going to give you all the answers and questions that you've been wanting to know. I'm going to answer them all. This is the Ace of Cups. It's also followed by a hidden card, which is Justice. Right? The Justice card. It means he's going to do the right thing. Again, this video is just for entertainment, educational purposes only as well. Now, what is considered the right thing? That could be subjective. The right thing in terms of this, it could be that he does the right thing and protects his own, or he does the right thing and, protects other people. That is what that card means. It means the right thing. That's all it means. There is no other additional meaning to it. The question is, what is the right thing for Clinton? Right? And the next card that comes in is the Three of Cups. There is no happy moment. There is no celebration. There's going to be a lot of shame here. A lot of things that he's like, yeah, we did that. It's going to be like, yeah, I'm sorry it came to this conclusion. I'm sorry that I was caught. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting. And when you start to look at underneath the 10 of Wands here, and it's followed by the 4 of Coins reverse, saying that he can no longer ignore the issue. He can no longer ignore what he's been wanting to ignore for this long. Like he thought he was invincible, that he thought he was untouchable. And the incident with Monica Lewinsky is going to blow the whole thing out. It's going to blow the whole thing up. There's going to be more connection made with Monica Lewinsky than what we knew back in the 90s and 2000s. And on top of this, ironically enough, is we have hardship with women, beauty, artistry, and love, Venus. And that is in reverse. Venus is going to hit him hard. And it's more ironic it takes place in the month of love, which is Valentine's Day month. Also, more key note here, it's also going to take place during Black History Month. And I'm seeing a black woman here, a black woman in particular. And I don't know if that's like a congresswoman or a senator, but there is something here that I'm hearing the word irresistible. That's what I'm hearing, the word irresistible. But like this person is like almost like a shadow. They're not really there. So I don't think it is a congresswoman or a senator, but it's like somebody from the past. But I'm seeing like images of her in my third eye, and she's very, very beautiful. But she's in the past. I wonder if she's a model. Let me just see when Venus is in the U.S.'s birth chart, because that's going to kind of give us a key point here. Venus, 2026. Let's see, where's Venus right now? Okay, so the rare phenomenon of annual solar eclipse. Oh, interesting. So there is a solar eclipse here. So I guess that's beginning then. The solar eclipse could mean that it's beginning, which means creation, intentional, potential. That starts on February the 17th. It will be a fascinating event for sky watchers and astronomers who are eagerly waiting for that to happen. So there is an eclipse that's going to happen. So there might be a report about a woman, Will Clinton, prior to the testimony, and he might be questioned about that. U.S. transit. In 2026, Venus will undergo several key astrological transits, starting with an entry into Aquarius on January the 17th, promoting unconventional relationships, and a major retrograde period in Taurus from April 21st to June 4th. The key shift includes entering Capricorn on January the 12th, and Pisces in March 1st, Aries on March 25th, and Taurus on April 19th. The key days of 2026 for Venus is Venus in Capricorn. It emphasizes commitment, seriousness, and financial planning. Venus in Aquarius focuses on unconventional, forward-thinking, and platonic relationship. Venus retrograde in Taurus is a major period likely caused by reevaluation of values, finances, and romantic relationship. Other sign movements, Venus enters Pisces on March 1st, Aries on March 25th, and moves into Taurus on April 19th. The key astronomical event is superior conjunction. Venus will be on the opposite side of the Sun on January the 6th, 2026. So there is a lot of information here, but when you start to really look at it at the core, it talks about re-highlighting a lot of those key issues of Bill Clinton's life. Yes, there's many of those events taken later down the line, but it's going to be a reevaluation. It's going to reevaluate his commitment, his relationship, his platonic and his romantical interests and stuff like that. It's also going to try to highlight on his relationship with Hillary and their marriage. And on top of the King of Cups here, which is that nonchalant approach and thinking that, you're invincible and kind of going against the friction, you have these two cards that come in. And these two cards kind of fall on top of this, which means the full moon. This means culmination, release, illumination. This means it's going to come at full center. The thing that you are trying to go against, the friction, is going to be the thing that pulls you back. And here also is going to be due to the sextile, which is also going to peak soon, which means harmony, ease, and compatibility. I think he's going to have a very, very hard time during his testimony. And that's going to be on top of the King of Cups, is keeping the cool. And underneath the King of Cups here, we have the Knight of Wands reverse. And the Knight of Wands reverse means the building structure, the infrastructure. So if you're hoping that Bill Clinton will tell us more about the infrastructure and the links between Epstein and all of them, there is no link. Because Bill Clinton was a byproduct, he was an associate, he was not one of the main leaders. So he's not going to have all the information. Now underneath the King of Cups here, we have is coming towards the end of the second house of Taurus, which means finances, values, and possessions. He's going to lose money. There's going to be something here that's going to tank his value. And that makes a lot of sense because we just talked about Venus and talking about finances and values. It did, and it also mentioned the word Taurus. It's also being coupled with the lunar eclipse, which is coming. That's on February the 17th, which means culmination, release, and illumination. So he's going to get exposed prior to the testimony. Underneath the Ace of Cups, which means, what you ask me, I provide. So you ask me a question, you ask me, you want a full answer, I'm going to give it to you. This is also information regarding the Queen of Swords, which is also, in a way, if Bill Clinton's like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to take somebody down with me. And he's going to release the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is going to indicate, oh, by the way, I know somebody, and they're going to throw him under the bus by adding more to a connection that hasn't been made prior. And it's going to say, oh, yeah, by the way, someone's a foreign asset, and we know that. So they're going to throw somebody under the bus. And here we have is Aries, which is interesting because Saturn is going to be at Aries at 0 degrees. And this is Aries, right? This is just telling us the information. This is going to be the thing that sets things on fire in 2026. There's a lot of information coming out. This is going to be telling us that whatever Bill Clinton says to throw somebody else under the bus because he's in the hot seat, it's going to really do some real damage. It's going to target somebody, and they're going to try to do damage control, but it's going to be too late because this is part of Saturn return. It can be part of the Great Reset. Now, on top of the Ace of Cups, the Justice card, and the Queen of Swords, which means foreign asset. This means it's about to peak. Uranus is about to peak during the testimony, which means revolution, invention, and eccentricity. This means that it's going to cause a major uproar. Whatever it is that's going to be revealed, that Bill Clinton is going to reveal things, it's going to cause a major uproar. There's going to be confirmation during the testimony. Now, as we start to shift into the Three of Cups here, which means that it's not really going to be a good time for Bill Clinton. It's going to be a very hard time, even if it means implicating himself. We followed by the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is about Bill Clinton kind of feels like not bad afterwards because he's going to feel like a weight has been lifted off his shoulder. He's going to feel light for the very first time in decades. He's not going to age as fast anymore. And here, the cards that clarify is the Hierophant in reverse, the corruption, the government, followed by the Wheel of Fortune, the government going backwards. This just simply means a mirror of the government, what the government has always been doing. Regardless of who is president, Democrat or Republican, Whigs or Democratic Republican or whatever other parties was in control, it goes back to every single president. There is a connection here. That's why the Wheel of Fortune means it just doesn't expose the past. It exposes the presidency in its entirety and how it was used. It's going to shift a dynamic and how people perceive power. And here you have it. What is already starting to happen is, and coming toward the end, is Gemini. This means multifaceted, balanced, and curious. And that is headed in the future. What does that mean? It means that something is coming in June and May, that's going to be more revealing during that next batch of Epstein file release. I don't know when the actual releasing it, but I assume it's going to be in May and June because that's where all the energy seems to be focusing me on too. And here you have it Cryon, which is about 45, 47% starting to peak. This means core wound, vulnerability, and potential through pain. So there's going to be a lot of disharmony and a lot of pain for a lot of people. A lot of revelation is going to be revealed around later and midway part of this year. It's going to be confirming everything. And that makes a lot of sense because the Hillary's reading, talking about her making a connection that she didn't know that wasn't made yet. And it's going to get people questioning certain things, but they cannot confirm it until later on. May and June is going to be when they're going to be able to confirm that Epstein file. If it comes out earlier, then it's going to be confirming it then. But the energy there puts me around May and June. The top of the deck, we have Pluto in reverse. This means that it's either going to peak or it's going to start or it has already ended. This means regeneration, rebirth, and transformation. How do we know this? We know this because the next card comes in as water, which means it's not an emotion. I'm hearing the word metal. And this means refreshing, mysterious, and fluid. It's very rigid, very cold. When you touch metal, it's very hard to bend it. It's very hard to maneuver it. But you can melt it and bend it to your will and shape it, if you will. So there's going to be a lot of shaping and maneuvering, but it's not going to be something that stays intact forever. But it's going to be something that's going to be very dynamic, is what I would say. And here underneath the bottom of the deck, which means that it's either going to peak or it's going to start peaking, which is the bottom of the deck, we have marriage, commitment, and bond. So actually, this could mean that there could be an ending to a marriage. Yeah, it's going to be retrograde. It's going to go backwards. This means reversal, deceleration, distance. I think actually Hillary could actually divorce Bill. I think that, in the first part in reading the testimony for Hillary, it doesn't look like she was aware of a lot or she knew certain things, but she just kind of just stood there. Now, it feels like Bill is going to have to be openly honest about the things that happened, and she's going to hear things. She's like, you lied to me, or you didn't tell me the truth. And so there's going to be a lot of disconnect, a lot of disharmony between the relationship of Bill Clinton and Hillary that's going to be spewed out because of the testimony. So he's going to lose a lot due to this. Hillary didn't seem to have a lot of negative cards, but for Bill, the same cannot be said for him. All right, what is this deck here? Okay, so for Bill, we didn't talk about his testimony. Here on the bottom of this deck, we have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is very interesting because it comes underneath the Sagittarius, which is the November election. This is going to pull into question, who is Bill at his core? Where does his loyalty lie? And how far is he willing to reveal? And the top of the deck is we have the Lion. He's exactly where he is. So he's going to stay at some point. Maybe I wasn't a part of it. But eventually he's going to be honest. And he's going to tell people straight up and say, listen, I was on Epstein Island. I was here. I did all these things. The Panther card means I'm in the right place at the right time, at the right area. I knew exactly what I was doing. When a Black Panther, and this card is being upright, it was in reverse. The Black Panther being on a mountainous terrain with snow means that it's out of place. It's in an area where it does not belong. It's reversed. It means that he was in an area where he knew where he was going, what he was doing. So do not let any sort of talk, or if Bill says anything at all, it's just, I really didn't know. I wasn't supposed to be there. Do not believe it, because this card is telling me he knew exactly what he was doing. And here the next card is the Gemini. And he's going to talk about the relationship, the partnership, the Gemini, the things that they did. Right? He's also going to talk about Donald Trump. and how, the presidency. It's going to talk about, like, how Donald Trump had to run for president back in 2000 and stuff like that after his presidency. There's going to be a lot of information about that as well regarding the 7 of Swords and the original plan. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of today's video. What do you think is going to happen? What did your cards say? Really curious to see. In the meantime, I thank you. I love you. And I'll see you guys soon. In the meantime, peace out. I love you.